Hi friends, I wanted to discuss with you something that happened the other day to me. I had reported for physical therapy at a local hospital, and while I was there they took my blood pressure and my vital signs, and my blood pressure was quite high. It actually registered at 202 over 102, which of course is not very safe. So I was sent to a walk-in clinic for evaluation. They ran some tests. They ran me through the battery of are you having a stroke, and asked me questions about whether I was having like palpitations or any problems with my heart or my chest. And the only thing that looked like there might be an issue was I was having a visual disturbance. They ended up running some blood work, and they did a urinalysis. They wanted to make sure that the high blood pressure was not causing issues with my internal organs. In the course of running these tests, the urinalysis came back with a very high bacteria rate. So they thought it was so high that they feared there was an issue with the test itself. So they redid the test came back the same. Come to find out, I had a urinary tract infection. Now, the odd thing about being on chemotherapy is you don't always have the same symptoms as other people when you have an illness. A lot of times when other people might run a fever, you won't run a fever. Or if you do, it'll be very low compared to what other people might run. That's why they tell you if your temperature goes 100.4, you need to call them so that it can be evaluated. I did have some symptoms that I really stopped to think after the fact should have flagged me, but it didn't. I had a thirst and was drinking continuously, and so because I was drinking considerably large amounts of water, I was urinating a lot, which is a sign of a UTI. Didn't put two and two together. I had some flank pain, but I hadn't really felt well. Didn't really feel sick, but you know, fatigued and not feeling great. So I had spent quite a bit of time lying down. So I wrote that off to a muscular pain from lying in bed. There were other little tiny things that pointed to the fact that I could have had a UTI. But I really didn't pay attention to it. So I guess the moral of the story is pay attention to symptoms and don't always write them off. And number two, keep in mind that your symptoms on chemo may not be the same as the typical symptoms. And number three, keep an eye on your blood pressure. As of today, I start blood pressure meds. My blood pressure's never been as high as it was on Monday. But we need to keep an eye on these things. And chemo will, especially in the long term, can and oftentimes will raise your blood pressure, especially if you take something like Avastin. Before cancer, my blood pressure ran a textbook 120 over 80. Not so now. But anyway, I'm hoping that you will see this and you will just kind of chalk it away just for future reference. And if you know anybody else that's on chemo that might be able to use the information, please pass it along. Hugs to all and have a great day.